Oh, welcome back to the Rock and Roll channel for a quick impromptu live session. Just thought I'd just touch base for a little bit. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, as you see by the title, for the game tonight. Florida State, NC State decided last minute to come up for it. I've never been to this matchup here in Raleigh, and I've heard some stories about the atmosphere here. So I'm curious to check it out. Went by the stadium yesterday. Nice looking stadium. I liked what I saw on the outside. So yeah, I've talked to a few Knoll fans here and there, what they think about our situation. Um, most are the vibe you're getting is that most think, yeah, we're Mike is staying no matter what. Um, that's my opinion right now as well. I know it's not what everybody really wants to hear. Um, but that's just the vibe I'm getting as well. Um, Obviously, a lot determines on how these next two games go. It shouldn't come down to that, but that's just the case. Um, so I just figured I'd check in, talk about that. I invited a friend on. Don't know if he's gonna jump on. He's gonna jump on. Yeah, he can hop on for a little bit. Jesse from Plant the Spear. Let me just let him know. He's gonna run to his car and get his mic real quick, and he'll jump on for a little bit. Actually, Jesse and I had a great chat just now for like 20 minutes on the phone, and we're like, why didn't we go live? Oh, hold on, I got a comment already. Thank you. Hey, Vince, how you doing, buddy? I watched your show last night, man. I enjoyed it with you and Ryan. Yeah, Vince, I don't know if you just saw that. I think the consensus is Mike is staying. Um, if we win one of the two next games for sure, 5-7, I just think it's going to happen. So that's my thoughts there. Could be wrong. It's not like I'm an insider and got the info on it. Oh, Vince, by the way, enjoy your vacation. Much needed, much deserved, I'm sure. Um, so right now the weather, in case you're wondering what the weather is, not that you couldn't check on your phone, but yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm with you, Vince. I have two. Absolutely. Um, so the weather right now, the rain just cleared up, overcast in the 50s. So as I like to call it, perfect football weather. Um, Heck yeah, Vince. Um, so it's perfect football weather. Jesse from Plant the Spear is going to be jumping on, and so here are my thoughts on the game. I'm not going by NC State getting blown out last week at Miami. They just ran into for them what was a buzzsaw. Miami kicked our butts too, so that's why I'm not going by it. Their quarterback CJ Bailey is from Fort Lauderdale. He got embarrassed by the hometown team last week. In his mind, he can redeem himself by beating another in-state big name school in the state of Florida. So that's why I think that should be something. That kid's talented. He's a excuse me. I hate to say kid for a college guy. Young man is talented. Somebody, if he were to enter the portal and I'm Florida State, I'd take a hard look at. Don't know if he's coming. Don't know if he would. I'm just saying I would. I like to qualify that. I'm gonna wait on Jesse for a little bit, and so their defense is not that good, but I think that atmosphere tonight is going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy. I drove around the stadium yesterday and saw a bunch of RVs already. People ready to go, ready to go. You got the true football atmosphere here because we talk about it in the ACC. There's a lot of schools that football is just not a big deal to them per se compared to other sports or just in general. Syracuse, at Boston College, some of those schools. Didn't get that feeling here. It was quiet in the area, but sorry, I'm still trying to wake up. And yeah, no, I saw the RVs. Stadium was nice looking, and if you've never been here before and you're a sports fan, I was driving around and literally you have the stadium right here. So where I'm standing is the stadium, and where that wall is behind me is where the Carolina Hurricanes play of the NHL, which I thought was really cool. Um, when the weather yesterday was 53, sunny all day, so I knew, all right, it won't be like this tomorrow. Um, yep, Jesse's going to be getting hooked up now. Just give him a minute. Absolutely. Let me just write him back. Say thank you. So if anybody has any thoughts on the game as well tonight, I'd love to hear them. It is weird. I've never been to a Friday night game for Florida State. It was weird waking up and saying, "Oh, I can't watch other games today." Oh, what else? NC State doesn't really have a ton of bars and restaurants by the stadium, um, where like people pregame and then walk over to the stadium. So I really don't have that to do right now. So I'm kind of hanging out at the hotel for the game, which I never really do with these vlog trips on the game day. I'm usually out the door in the morning, pretty early. For an earlier game or even Miami game, I was out the door. Man, I was at the door by nine something. I was watching College Game Day at Township, and I was there the whole day through the game. Um, but I'll be there tailgating. Talk to TJ Pittenger. I'm trying to meet up with him. No, I didn't. I don't look for trouble, man. So if someone throws something at me, they really are just a bad person. I'm pretty chill at the games. I mean, I'll be cheering, but yeah, I have heard you're about the fifth person, Vince, that has warned me about the urine situation here. Hopefully, their fans understand that we suck, or excuse me, we're not very good. They're not very good, and let's just watch some football. Um, but yeah, if it happens, it happens. But this is a matchup I've wanted to see here. I've never been to the matchup here. Um, I've heard a lot about it, and I was like, I need to check it out. And it's so weird we're playing in an odd year here. It was always even years here in Raleigh every other year for so long. And so that's why. Vince, if you want to jump on, let me know. I'll send you a link. Just give some last minute thoughts. Let me know. Uh, so yeah, Vince, let me know. And if you're still watching. And so okay, Vince, let me get you a link. Absolutely. I'm on it right now, sir. Sorry, everyone. Be cool to get Vince's thoughts as well. And if anyone's in the chat or just listening, man, give me your thoughts on the game as well. Like all week, people were like, I don't care, I don't care. But now it's game day. You start to care, you start to feel it. And I tell yourself, take it all in because football season goes fast. Why is it doing this? It's great. StreamYard has reached Mars. That's awesome. Got it. Don't care. Here we go. Okay, Vince, I'm about to send it to your X account. And here's Jesse from Plant the Spear. What's up, Jesse? Thanks for the last minute join.
What's up, man? Yeah, I was like, let me run to my car and grab my stuff real quick, and I'll be
I know. I
right
felt
back.
like, wow, he didn't even have to do that, but thank you.
Yeah, let me see if I can get my camera here.
Take your time. I'm just BSing, literally. Obviously, this is as last minute as it gets. I'll send Vince, by the way, as well. Jesse, we were just talking about 20 minutes on the phone. We had enough for a whole show. What's your final thoughts on the game? And then we'll talk Norvell. His camera went out.
Yeah, I'm just trying. There we go. There
There
we
we
go.
go. Perfect. Perfect.
This thing's got
How
autofocus, and
professional is
sometimes
this
it
guy
does its
who
own
ran
thing.
to his car on no notice to get his
Yeah,
stuff?
this thing's got autofocus, so it just has its own mind sometimes.
Okay.
Man,
Thanks for
on
coming
this
on this.
game. So, when we talk about Florida State and NC State in this game, like I really do feel like this is a game that Florida State can win. I think the defense, obviously, the defensive edge goes to Florida State because that NC State defense is terrible. I mean, dead last in pass defense in the country. But what I don't like about the game is some of the matchups, right? Because their weakness is their pass defense. We're not exactly a great passing team. Although I think Deuce can be a problem for this NC State defense. I also look at where kind of they have a pretty good passing offense. I heard you talking earlier about C.J. Bailey. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's got an almost 70% completion percentage.
Here's Vince
And
from Garnet and Old, man. So I have a nice round table right now.
yeah,
This
and
is awesome.
CJ Bailey's legit, man. 70%, almost 70%
Yeah.
completion percentage, and he pushes the ball downfield. It's not like he's dinking and dunking, and he can run too. Like,
He's
I don't
gonna be
love the
so fired up
matchups.
for this game.
Yeah, like I don't love the matchups in this game, but I think we're a better team. The reason I have a problem picking Florida State in this game is just the road woes. You know what I mean? Because not only do you struggled, you're 0-8 in your last 8 road games. You also are playing in Carter Finley, right? Like that is the snake pit for Florida State. It's a Friday night game. I heard you say earlier on the live that you were like, I have not been to a Friday night game for Florida State yet. Well, buddy, I have been to one, and that was earlier this year, which was the double overtime loss at Virginia. So,
Right.
We don't love non-Saturday games too. So, I said on our podcast earlier this week, all the juju is in favor of NC State. But if Florida State if this defense can button down and this offense can travel, because you've put up 13 and 7 points in your last 2 road games, if you can have the offense show up that did in that Virginia game, I think you can beat this NC State team. But it's going to be a rowdy atmosphere. It's Friday night. It's sold out. I think it's going to be a good crowd. And so, man, I'm just excited to see it.
Yeah, Vince, what do you think about the game? Last minute thoughts. Anything changed from your show last
everything-
night? Or
Yeah,
thanks for coming
can
on,
you
by
hear
the way.
me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
perfect.
Okay, great. Carter Finley is not been kind to us, and not kind to a lot of people actually, but not kind to us, especially on a Friday night. Even when Florida State has been really good, they've had a lot of trouble there. And if they're gonna win a road game, this would be like I would be shocked that this is going to be the one, right? Because it's Friday night. It's Carter Finley. It's NC State. It's the team has not started well on the road, and I think that is the problem. I said on our show last night that if there's one thing that I would wish for is that the first time Florida State has the ball is to drive down and score a touchdown, because I think that changes the dynamic of the game. But if they, kick around and drive the field and kick a field goal or miss a field goal or whatever, punt, then it's like everything is starting all over again. It's like Groundhog Day. So I think this team needs some kind of momentum early in the game. NC State's not a great team, but neither are we, right? So,
Right.
Putting it lightly.
all things being equal, Florida State should win this game, but they have not shown the ability to put things together early in road games to gather any kind of momentum. They never quit, right? They never quit. And they will find some kind of something as the game goes on. But as we've seen, it tends to be not enough, right? So I think you've got to score early, and it's got to be a touchdown.
Yeah.
I agree.
One thing
if we win the coin toss, just take the ball.
One thing I will say to his point that you made me think of is, I think the key to this game is that's my guy right there, man. Just brought me an awesome gift basket from Hawaii with a bunch of cool
He's
stuff.
here for the game?
No, at Virginia Tech last week.
Oh,
so
okay.
that was so cool. But
Rouse the men.
Yeah, but Vince makes a really great point. I think the key to this game is 6, not 3. Because when you look at NC State, the one thing that stood out to me is they're top 10 in the red zone. They're scoring almost 94% of trips, and it's been 25 touchdowns to only 5 field goals. They don't kick well either. I think they're 5 of 8 on field goals. So you can't mess around. I think for Florida State to feel like I'm going to walk out of Carter Finley happy because we got to win, I think you need to get 30 points. So I don't think at least 30. I don't think you need to mess around. This is a team that's 4-1 at home, man. They beat Virginia at home. They beat Georgia Tech at home. I heard you say earlier
too, right?
Not at home. Not at home. I don't know if they beat them in general. I don't think so.
Okay, I got it mixed up.
But you made a good point earlier where, you're talking about you don't put a whole lot of stock into that Miami game. I think it was like, okay, you did see that a good defense can shut them down, right? Notre Dame and Miami are the 2 best FBS or Power 4 defenses, because ECU actually has a pretty good defense, but, that's a different level. But those 2 teams held them to 7 points. Miami held, I think it was 143 total yards. That is unbelievable. And we're
And
technically
most
on
of their yards
paper,
came in most of their yards came in garbage time.
right. And on paper, we're the third best defense that they face. So if you can keep them, good defenses have shown they can hold them down, right? But at the same time, they've been really good at home. And I mean, Georgia Tech put up 35 and lost. So that's what worries me.
That's a great point and they got that early turnover against Miami.
Yeah.
They didn't really capitalize. They do that at home, even if they're kind of checked out. NC State, that crowd is going to be fired up. They hate Florida State here. I mean, they hate us,
and they know how good they are against us.
Yeah, I mean, Mike has never won here.
Yeah,
he's 0-2. I know one year was the COVID year, and we started Chubba Prairie, and it was like a scrimmage. I get it. 22, we were the much better team.
Yep.
And just completely the second half shut down. So this has been a house of horrors for Mike too.
Yeah.
Mike will tell you that 20 game counts. That's fine. Either way, he's never won here. And Vince, I was saying before you came on, and Jesse, it's so weird playing here in an odd year.
Yeah.
I know that the schedule's changed and everything, but I just got so used to even years always coming to Raleigh. I mean, it wasn't like I was driving around yesterday and seeing like we hate Florida State. You could feel the game energy. You couldn't yet. Maybe that's because it was a Friday game. But I think it's going to be rowdy there tonight.
Yeah, it's sold out. I mean, it's been sold. I bought my tickets like a month or so ago, and it was sold out then too. So I think it is going to be big. I think they're going to be ready. You know, they do have UNC next week too, so they have a rivalry game coming up, just like we do. So there's that. But yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a pretty good atmosphere, man. I think it's going to be loud. Like it's 57,000, so you know what I mean. Like as loud as loud.
It's going to be loud. It's going to be loud. I mean, I was in the lobby this morning, and people were stopping me saying, like, "Prepare yourself for tonight."
Yeah.
I'm like, really? He's like, these are the worst fans. I'm not saying it's the case. NC State fans, you're watching. That's what they were saying.
I've heard the same thing. Yeah.
Vince, Jesse and I were speaking earlier before we went on air. And what's your final thoughts on Mike's situation? Is it as cut and dry as I think it is?
I mean, I thought it was cut and dry several weeks ago, and that's the cut and dry time. I mean, I don't think it is now. I think you know, even if I think if he wins, okay, so I think he's coming back short of something embarrassing happening over the next two games. So even if they lose the next two games, which are a definite possibility, I think he's coming back regardless, unless, you know, you absolutely look like you haven't prepared at all, right? Or something like an embarrassing type of loss that happens in the next two games. So, and that's a big 180 for me. I thought, you know, after the Stanford loss that that it was just, you know, playing out the string, and I think the administration decided not to do anything at that time because, you know, what's the point of doing it right then and there? I mean, you're not going to find a new coach anyway, and if nothing else, Mike is going to continue to do what he does and put in the energy that's necessary till the very last second. That's his MO, right? So you don't have to worry about him bailing, right? You might worry about the team kind of bailing, but as a coach, you know, he's not going to quit doing his job, unlike a coach we had several years ago. So, you know, now at this point, I think he's going to be back, and I think the administration would have the money. I think they do have the money if they had to make the decision. That whole talk about, you know, there's no money to do that, I think that's false. They just don't have the appetite to do it if they can avoid it.
Right. And the way his contract is structured, it's definitely there.
Yeah.
If he was owed 30% up front or 40% up front, I could see saying that's insane.
And I've been
10 years, you know, paying $8 million, it can be done.
Yeah, and the thing for me is, you know, I like Mike, and I think everybody says this. They like Mike. He's a nice guy, energy. He's positive. He's optimistic. He tends to really care about the kids, and so you want to have that kind of leader in your program. And so I've been like hoping beyond hope that he would get it together. But the one thing, man, and I've been saying it on our show, and I say it to people when I see them, Mike Norvell, I'm looking at you, Mike Norvell. You've got to fix the recruiting. If you fix that, everything is going to be gravy. And because you've got it all, you've got the rest of it in spades. You've got to fix the recruiting.
I mean, this year, I got to give a shout out to our fans. it just shows how great our fan base is. I mean, the last 2 years have been miserable. The fan attendance has been great.
It's been great.
We're not that toxic on Twitter. I mean, if we're going through a coaching search right now, we'd be fired up and talking about this guy or that guy. Florida fans are killing themselves, each other, on Twitter right now, or X, whatever you want to call it. I mean, and you know what? Coaches' agents see that stuff. I'm not saying they go by Twitter and say, hey, you shouldn't go here because of Twitter. I'm just saying, you think Lane doesn't know how toxic that fan base is and how insane they are? I'm not saying he's not going there. I think he is. But I'm just saying, I love how our fans, man, keep it classy. When I visit other road sites, they all come up to me and they ask me questions about Florida State in a good way. They don't say like, why do you guys suck now? They just say, hey, what do you think of the reasons? But they ask me from a logical standpoint because they're not emotionally involved. And it's cool to hear that. But I got to give Spartan Null a shout out. And Spartan Null, if you're on, also, if you haven't yet, sub to Garnet and Old as well. Vince and Ryan do a great show there. Spartan Null is the legend on Word Chant. Alfred has put his chips on last year's massive coaching turnover. Mike will be given, I don't think, 2 to 3 more years. I can't see it unless he turns it around. And next year, he would have to go 8 wins, 9 wins. I just think so. You lost Notre Dame, so your schedule became a lot easier.
Yeah.
And
you got to fix the recruiting. If you do that, it's all gravy, man. I'm telling you. Fine. I don't know what it is. He's a good recruiter, but he's not great, right? He's got to find someone. They've got to revamp that staff or something because it's crazy that Florida State cannot pull in the types of people that they're supposed to pull in.
And he has a decent NIL budget. I really don't want to hear that we're cheap. I'm going to quote Bud Elliott. Vince, I know you got to go soon, so we'll get your final thoughts.
Yeah.
Bud said he was speaking to a coach, and he wouldn't say the name, obviously. And he said this coach would be very interested in Florida State. And Bud showed him what our NIL budget is. And he was like, how is he not winning with that? So the consensus is you can win here with what we put in. Not just because we're Florida State.
You're spending more money than Stanford, right? On players. Pittsburgh, right? You should be winning. And I would say to Vince's point, I think the number one issue, obviously, with Mike has always been the recruiting, right? If you could fix that, you'd be fine. Like you were good in the portal early on, but then now everyone else is really starting to jump into the portal, and you're just not finding the diamonds anymore. Now, the other thing, I think there's a kind of a two-sided aspect of that, is I think the development does need to get a little bit better too. With the high school prospects, right? I mean, we just haven't seen a lot of these guys flesh out. And I think the hard part is it has gotten better under the new staff, obviously, but do you keep that new staff in place long enough because of Mike? That's kind of the conundrum that you're in. So I think the development like you haven't developed a quarterback since he's been here. And so for me, we were talking about, this is what me and Jeremy were talking about earlier. I think if you were to say everyone comes back next year, like there is no changes unless you choose to be elective changes. I think you got to get rid of Tokars. I think you got to get rid of Papuchis. And I think, there's some, and you got to get rid of Ray, right? You've not shown enough development to keep Tokars. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but what's he doing?
He shouldn't have been back this year. Let's be honest.
Right. And when your linebacker play gets worse than after Randy Shannon leaves, there's really something wrong with that. And then Derek Ray.
And he's not recruiting.
Right. And then Derek Ray, like you just haven't shown the ability to bring in a high enough level of talent with him as general manager. DJU was a big part of his choice because of their relationship prior. And so I think if you make those 3 changes and you go out and you're willing, to your point, you're spending enough money, but if you're willing to be like, man, let's just bump that budget up a little bit more. Maybe let's go pay $2 million for a quarterback or something like that, man, a high-level quarterback that can change your offense. Then I think you could see them maybe win some more games next year. But, the last thing I'll say, but to your point, man, I think next year, no matter what, you can't give him another runway of, just win 8 games, Mike. No, like you had your mulligan. Next year needs to be, this is the standard. You got to get 10 wins. You got to be in contention for Charlotte, or you got to go.
No, I agree. And you're not going to get a big-time play caller if Gus and Tony leave, because I can be done in 3 months.
Yeah.
They know that. Or you have to give me a 3-year deal that's guaranteed, and I'm set, like we had to do with Tony and Gus to get them to come.
Let's make Vince, Brian Hartline coach in waiting. How about that? OC coach in waiting.
I just give it him tomorrow. You want to be our head coach? Come tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And who
Load my
knows?
roster with Jeremiah Smiths all day long. Yeah, let's do it.
Dude, I will take him out for coffee in South Florida, where he's the man there. Vince, any last thoughts? We're going to get off shortly.
Yeah. Say if you're gonna
Thanks for coming on.
talk about bringing folks back, if this is gonna happen, I like the changes that you discussed for sure, but also throw some money at bringing Deuce back.
Got to.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And making sure the guys that have shown to be Florida State quality players, like that they would play in some of the greater teams that we've had. Like, because they've got the ability and the tenacity and the what for. Make sure those guys stay on the roster. And I know Deuce, he's got the pro thing looking at, right? But I don't know so far if he's going to go as early as maybe he wants to. So throw the money at him, bring him back. Whether it's Tommy or not, I could care less. I would rather probably it not be Tommy. And put all your eggs in Sperry, man, and get him ready. Get him ready.
Oh, those are must to see your Twins chroma win. Deuce.
Yeah. And I would add Danzy to that list.
And Danzy. Yeah, like all those guys that we look at them, we go, that's what it's supposed to be.
But that's the thing is we're naming 8 or 10 guys on a roster of Aslan Hedgevandi said this. I got to give him credit. He said on the other night, I guess someone named 8 or 10 players. He goes, great. You have a roster of 105 guys and there's 10 we want to keep. What does this say about your roster management?
Yeah, but that's core, right?
Spot on.
You got to keep them.
Right.
You got to keep them, though, because what has been happening or what could happen is you're going to lose even that pocket of people.
Yeah, I agree. Like the Spartan doll right here. He thinks we're trending up in some ways. If Florida State, if Mike loses him, that's like one of the last straws.
What makes me the most nervous is you're going to lose your entire offensive line. That's what makes me the most nervous. And we really haven't shown the ability to plug and play anybody, right? Like it's Jacob Rizzi or bust. Andre Otto on occasion. That's what makes me the most nervous. You're going to have to go get 5 new starters.
I would be interested to see, after Hand has been here because it's tough to kind of gauge him yet. It's only been like less than a year. So I'd be interested to see how he flips like to the next year. And I think he's probably the better offensive line coach we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious, like Sandman Thompson's development. The guy who's been backing up Pettibone at center. He was really high on that young man.
Yeah.
Maybe he takes a step in the
I got to go, guys.
Okay, Vince, thank you.
See you,
We're about to sign out too.
We'll
Vince, thanks for jumping on. Gary West, real quick, Jesse. And Vince, thank you again. I appreciate it.
I'll just say
linebackers. Gary West.
Yeah, to his point, man. To his point, I'll say one thing. Like we were talking about this on our show the other day. This team is, they've lost a lot of one-score games, and we know they need to be better than they are, right? We know that. But if you look at this team, right, and if you gave them Tatum Bethune and Kalen DeLoach from the 23 team and Jared Verse, like this team's probably 8-2 right now.
Oh yeah.
So you can see now we want better all around. Like you said, you got 105 guys and you got 10 that you really like. You got to get that part better too, because you need depth. But I think you can see where 4 or 5 game changers on this team could kind of put this thing over the top, right?
Well, I say that, but I don't trust Mike
The problem is you can't go get those guys. You haven't shown the ability to do it consistently.
What drives me crazy is everyone says, "Oh, just fix the roster." There's more to it than that. It's not accident that Georgia has a good roster and wins, and that Ohio State. Those guys know how to coach. They know how to run an organization. They know how to prepare during the week. When I was reading this week, I almost got sick. The quarterback, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Spartanell's on a roll today. Give him some butter. But that's what I'm saying is I don't trust Mike in that regard right now. When I was reading this week on one site that Mike was looking into for this game about what time to leave the hotel, changing the time management there. You're in year 6 figuring that out?
Yeah.
Like that was some Willie Taggart type reading material that I got when we booked a hotel too far from the stadium and couldn't do a walkthrough. I'm reading conversations in a year 1 or year 2 that I don't want to read in year 6.
Not when you're paying them $10 million. Like that stuff you gotta have that stuff figured out, man.
That's true. And if you're Mike, Like Corey Clark, he's pushing for a restructured contract. He's not doing that.
Mm-mm.
Jimmy Sexton will never allow his clients because if he does that, why can't he do a restructured buyout?
Yeah.
Now
And,
I'm sure
my
Florida
thing
State. Yeah, sorry.
with Mike on the recruiting is like, man, if he's not going to call plays and he's going to make $10 million a year to be a CEO, you got to have a guy who's a dog on a trail, can go out and get recruits, right? Like Mario can't coach his way out of a paper bag, but
He can
he
recruit.
can recruit, right? And so Mike needs to be able to recruit at that level, and he's just not shown the ability. And so, like, if they can figure that out, but I don't think you just wake up and are a better recruiter one day. That's the problem.
No, you can't just become one exactly
No,
overnight. And I
right.
hate to hear he needs to improve that. You have it or you don't. If you
Right.
haven't established enough of a presence at Florida State in 6 years to do it, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
When all the odds are stacked against you now.
Yeah. And your job security is always in question. And it's.
You think
It's tough,
Mario's
man.
not telling recruits, oh yeah, go to Florida State? Like that's
Right.
really going to work out for you.
Yeah, and that's
And
why
Florida's
I think
about to get the new car smell. Whoever they get.
And like if they get a big personality, like that's why I'm glad Lane's not going to end up there, because you have two really strong
We don't know
personalities,
that
and then
yet, man.
and then you have Mike, right? And if he could, right? He could.
Yeah, I think he will.
But if you have Lane at Florida and Mario at Miami and then Mike Norvell at FSU, I'm going to feel really bad about your recruiting in this state. It's going to be terrible, man. And that's the problem, right? You just got to go out and get talent. And he's just not showing the ability. And I want him to, the hard part is like the conundrum that a lot of us Florida State fans most of us want Mike gone, right? So we are like, well, maybe if you get blown out in these last two games, that greases the wheels to happen. But it's also like, man, if he's going to stay, and I think most of us would agree, we're probably about 90% chance he's going to stay. You need to win these last two games because you need some momentum. You need something to look positive going into signing day, going into the portal. You really need to win these last two games. Would be huge for him.
We got lucky last year that we were able to sell. It was a 1-year blip.
Yeah.
We got new coaches. We're going to get this thing fixed. And recruits could see that probably.
Yeah.
No. After the last 2 years, Gary West bringing the heat. I believe the receivers are better this year, but why? How can you encourage Elijah Moore to stay? How can you encourage LaWayne McCoy to stay when they're getting maybe, especially Moore's not getting anything? That's why I don't understand. You can't get Moore on the field. You can't get Landon Thomas on the field. You actually signed a 5-star Mike. He's not on the field. So I'm done. I'm so checked out on the Mike Norvell experience. I'm going to support team no matter what. I'm going to cheer my tail off tonight because I love my Knowles. I know you will too. But Gary West, thanks to everyone in the chat. Spartan Knoll, Gary. I know I'm missing some others. Vince, who came in earlier and then jumped on the show. This was a fun impromptu. Jesse, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Literally, the definition of last minute. I'm going live. Here we go.
You sent me a link, and I'm like, let me run to the car and grab my microphone because
that's dedication.
Right. Like I basically bring a mobile podcast studio with me everywhere I go. And I'm like, we're on the third floor of an Airbnb in an apartment. I'm like, just give me 1 second. I just got to run down there.
Yeah, I get it going. But Jesse, any last thoughts before the game? Anything on your mind?
Yeah, man. Just I'm hoping the rain holds off because we're having a pretty big tailgate for anybody watching. If you're going to be in Raleigh, make sure you stop by. It's on the west side, the home side of the stadium, right past the ticket office. We're expecting a big turnout. I think it's just going to be a bunch of like-minded Knoll fans having a great time before the game. I've heard you talk about their fans. I've heard the rumors too. Duck, watch out for the bottles that might be flying, but strength in numbers, man. So come to the tailgate, come hang out, come have fun.
And I have to engage with them for the vlog I'm doing.
Yeah, well, good luck. We'll be praying for your safety, but
play for my safety. That's fine. I tend to get along with most people, so I should be okay.
Y'all swing by the tailgate, and
I'll be by.
Hopefully we leave with a win, man. But I appreciate you having me on. It's always fun to talk.
No, I appreciate you coming on, Jesse. This was so much fun. This got me even more hyped for the game. So thanks for jumped on for this last minute impromptu before the Jeff Cameron show live stream. And go Knowles. I'd always say I'd always rather lose as a Knoll than win as any other.
You daggone right.
So go Knowles, baby. Jesse, thank you again. Vince, thank you again.
Sir.
Everybody in the chat, you made this a lot of fun for us. Thank you. Go Knowles.
Go Knowles.